Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with a weekly news and review for October 3rd, 2021. 2021. Of course, we've got a lot of Masterpiece Transformers news. We've got some Legends news. We've got mainline Transformers news and mainline exclusives that you might want to jump on if you're interested in those. There's also, of course, some great stuff going on in Star Wars, the Vintage Collection, a bit going on with Black Series, probably not a bit enough, and there's some drama going on YouTube. I'll talk about all this coming up. First off, some really cool stuff that's going on at ShowZ. Right now there are two of these figures for the SNK officially licensed 1/12 scale figures from Tunchi Studio, and there's no price yet, $1 down to pre-order these things, but they seem pretty cool. There's quite a bit of accessories, and if you like the video game stuff, well, there it is. This is a pretty fun game, actually. These things are loaded with accessories, all kinds of stuff from the game, like the watermelon. And I do want to point out that these are going to be around the 6-inch scale, maybe a little bit taller, a little bit shorter than the average 6-inch figure, but really cool. It's interesting that we're getting these. We're also getting the Metal Slug vehicle. Now, I don't ever remember Metal Slug vehicle transforming. Maybe I missed that. But it's kind of a cool added touch that this Metal Slug vehicle transforms. And if you did play the Metal Slug, the games, then you'll remember this vehicle. Now, I remember playing them on the Neo Geo Pocket, the Neo Geo Pocket Color, and that's where I played them the most, but they're really fun games. Next up, ShowZ also has up for pre-order right now both of the next two Deformation Space. You got their, they call it the 01R and the 01, they got another letter for it, but Thundercracker and Skywarp. I think Skywarp is getting an S. And guess who has pre-ordered these already? This guy right here. This is my set of Seekers. I'm really excited for them. And they'll be out. They say both will be out in December. We'll see if they can pull that off. So Oymec is coming out with the LS-13Z Tactical Commander Optimus Prime Shattered Glass version. It is almost 12 inches tall, made of plastic and die-cast, due out, well, this month sometime, theoretically. And it is going to be a little bit more expensive than most Oymecs, about $90. Now, I don't know exactly which one they are mimicking, which version they are oversizing, basically is what this company does. And I'm not sure, but it looks pretty good. And if you want this for a Shattered Glass version, there it is. So for those of you that are worried about the King Toys Masterpiece version of Predaking, then don't worry, because guess what? It's coming out. They have a combined mode version of this, and it's a prototype. This is further along than Fans Toys is with their combiners, so that's pretty awesome. It looks pretty good. I'm pretty excited for this. I've heard a lot of people that are upset that it hasn't been completed yet, so it should be getting completed pretty soon. It looks pretty good, but I'm kind of disappointed we didn't get more pictures. This is really all they put out, all they gave us, all we have to go on for now, and we don't even have an exact release date on when this is coming out, but still, it's in the works, it's getting done, and I like to give us updates. So Takara Tomy is putting out some Masterpiece Shuki color images, and here's the thing, this thing's being touted as a Masterpiece. I know when it comes out, I do not think this is going to scale with Masterpiece. This is from what I've been hearing. Anyway, they didn't even give us very good renders, very good images, but this is what we have to go on so far. So here we go with some comparisons to the animation, and this is a pretty good little setup here that you can see the bot, the train, what it's going to convert into to be a part of the chest, and all that kind of stuff. So there it is, and I still don't think it's going to be Masterpiece. I think it's going to be good, though, and I think that Takara Tomy is putting a lot of work into this. It's kind of a big deal over there, but guess what? The same week we get some stuff from Moon Studio. So we get some color shots of prototypes. These are actual working prototypes for Moon Studio, MSO1 Dark Knight, and the MSO2 Iceland. And the thing about these, they look pretty good, and I really kind of feel like Moon Studio is outshining Takara on this one. And maybe it's just the fact that we actually get to see better shots or more of these figures, but they're doing quite a bit with this, and I feel like they're kind of doing more than Takara, and I feel like they're moving faster than Takara. You would think Takara would move faster, but here we go with some train shots here. They look pretty good. I mean, they do look really good. They look very clean. You look at the lines. I mean, the The biggest problem is right on the front of one of these. There's a little bit of a line, a gap. Seems like you need to squeeze that a little tighter, but aside from that, they look outstanding. Just very, almost seamless versions of trains. Then you get in the combine mode here. So, I mean, you're starting with a foundation, and a very good foundation, with these figures. And it looks, well, okay, let's just put it like this. This is exactly what Zeta looked like when they gave us those images, and the gray prototype images, and the kind of the reveal pic of this. So Moon Studio is Zeta, we all know that. But looks good, and we know what Zeta can do because they put out several combiners. So Banana Force is putting out some pictures of the LTD MPL04 prototype. So it's just kind of a blue repaint of what they've already done. But Banana Force is a non-transforming, highly posable, and highly expensive transformer. Well, is it a transformer? It's an action figure. It's a big action figure. I think these are bigger than 12-inch. But I really haven't gotten any of the Banana Force. But I've heard good things about them so far. Here's the back. And since they don't transform, they can clean up very well. And then, of course, they can add in some extra added stuff when it comes to the articulation. Double jointed pretty much everything all around. And here we go with the opening compartment for the Matrix and all of that good stuff. Kind of the same old stuff they've already been doing, but it looks really good. I like that blue. I don't know why it's blue though, but I like the metallic paint to it. So we've got a couple of oddball kind of Transformers converters. They're not really Transformers or converters. Let's just call it that. Anyway, it's called the Mufan Culture Mountain Lion Main Battle Tank. It's the B96B. So for all of this naming of this, I've never heard of the Mufan Culture Mountain anything, but it looks good though. That tank is super real world, and the bot itself looks pretty interesting. It actually doesn't look like it'd be that extremely difficult of a transformation for the most part. And I'm really not sure whether this is going to pop up. I kind of expect to see it pop up at ShowZ in the next couple of weeks or so. But I'll follow this and see what price, availability, and all that kind of stuff when that information comes available. So we got another project from Sci-figure Industry Craft Series CS02. And this is Dark Owl. And it looks interesting. It looks pretty cool. So they have done another project very similar to this in the past. And this one turns into, well, from a highly articulated robot into a helicopter. A pretty cool looking Huey, and it looks great. So another project with not a lot of information and not a lot of availability just yet. So it'll be kind of interesting to find out more about this project as it goes forward. But it does look good in both modes, and this helicopter looks super clean compared to that bot mode. And Transart with the BWM06. Now this is the transmetal Megatron, and I have to admit, for me personally, I don't know about you, but the transmetals are my favorite part of Beast Wars. It seems like transmetals split Beast Wars almost the same as the 1986 movie, and the killing off of all of those characters split G1. So with that, I'm kind of on the transmetal side of things, but I think this looks really good. Design-wise, here he is without all of his skates and all that kind of stuff. So he does still incorporate all of those original, I guess you can call it G1 type of gimmicks that go along with it. But this thing is going to be super duper hyper shiny. They do a good job with that paint. Now, I don't even know if it's vac metalized or not, but I believe it is vac metalized. Anyway, here we go with the dyno mode, and he's on his roller skates, and he's got his jet propulsion unit going on and all that stuff, and he's got his tail gun on as a tail. And here he is just, being himself, talking. He won't come with a toothbrush because I don't think he brushed his teeth when he switched over to being a transmetal. And he might have started brushing them again when he was transmetal too. So I'm probably going to get a little flack for saying Unique Toys is dead. It's done. Stick a fork in them. They're done. And all they're going to do is reissue old molds again, and then they have to come out with another Megatron. This is the Unique Toys Dark of the Moon Megatron, and this is in a gray prototype form, and it's going to include 23 ratchet joints. It can bend over with full body rust deco, and plan to be released in this year with a mystery gift, the Igor minifigure. 33 centimeters tall, so it looks pretty cool. It really does match the animation. Of course, that's what they're going for. Here is the truck mode, and yes, it gets soft goods. You get a piece of a potato sack to go along with for a cape. I've always kind of liked to make fun of the cape that he used. I thought it was like a tarp that was blowing along and got caught on him. When I watched the movie, I thought that for years until I realized it was actually intentional. But here he is with his potato sack. There's a cape on him, but it's cool. It actually truly does replicate the look, and Unique Toys does great work. I mean, they do great work. I really hope they stick around, they stay in it, and they change their mind about quitting, but who knows? So Masterpiece news is fun, but Legends news can also be fun. So we're seeing this Wreck-Gar start to show up. Now this is the Mechanic Studio, the MS-24 Garbage Man, and he looks good. I mean, there's no doubting that he looks good. He looks great, and he looks great not just in his bot mode, but also in his alt mode. And he can be ridden by, well, all of your Legends figures. So this is one of those that once you get one, you're going to realize you probably should have ordered two. And I think they're going to probably, this is guess, they're probably going to put out other versions of Wreck-Gar and make other versions of the Junkions, but they haven't announced that yet. So I would kind of hope they do, but if they don't, you might want to get two of these so he can ride himself. But I haven't seen Wreck-Gar get this much love ever in the history of Transformers, because we've got all the stuff that KFC's doing in the Masterpiece. We've got Hasbro putting out Wreck-Gar, and he's going to be getting other iterations down the road. I think Junkyard's next or something. And then we've got this in the Legends, and all of them are great. They're all great. So Wreck-Gar's got lots of love going on right now, and it'll probably keep continuing. So if we got 15 versions of the Galvatron, and we only got a handful of versions of the Megatron, New Age is just kind of slacking, right? So New Age says we don't want to slack, so we're going to go ahead and put out this TFCon Baltimore 2021 exclusive New Age Pistolunks. Anyway, this is pretty much just Megatron repainted super dark charcoal. Looks like a shiny paint job with it too, and all the inclusions in there, and it's going to be exclusive. Now, I still personally think that the Magic Square mold is better, but I know for sure and for certain that New Age paint and the applications of the paint, the presentation in that, is always superior. So this is going to be a nice looking figure, but he's $75 and he'll be an exclusive available while supplies last. So I've been working on your cosplay costume and trying to work on your sound wave, but you just can't get your helmet right. Well, now Gamestop's got you covered, because they have a Modern Icons replica helmet that's coming out for $130. It's officially licensed, GameStop exclusive, premium collectible wearable helmet, and it has electronics with light up eyes and authentic sound wave voice phrases from the classic 80s cartoon series. It has push button activation, detailed paint, but you do have to supply your own 3 AA batteries. They are not included. It looks pretty cool. It is interesting. I kind of want to hear how it sounds in person. I know that my GameStop usually gets these out and you get to see what it's all about at my GameStop, but not all GameStops do that. But it'd be kind of interesting to see this in hand. Speaking of GameStop, if you are interested in these reaction figures, they are getting cheaper and cheaper. They've clearanced out wave, I think this is wave 2 of these. Maybe it's wave 3. Wave 2 or 3, whatever. Anyway, as you can see from the price here, they're about $12 each. You might want to take them up and have them scan them, because I saw them with all different prices all over the place in different places, but they're clearancing them out right now, and it's not a surprise. I mean, the price point for $18 for what you get with this is too high. These should be at 10, and the closer they get to 10, the quicker and better they're going to sell. So you want to check yours if you like these. So other things I found in my road trip were, well, they're releasing the Shadow Panther and the Wasp Vader, so those are coming out right now. Those seem to be pretty easy to find all around. One thing that's still really hard to find is Gnaw, and my son found it for me. It is really hard to find because I think it's popular. I think most collectors will get probably 3 or 4 of them, so they probably underestimate demand on these, kind of like the Alicons. So it's going to be tough to get. So if you see one and you're on the fence, you might as well just grab it because they are hard to find. More stuff showing up right now. We've got the Slag with the, is that Spike or is it Daniel? Because I just can't get the names. No, I'm just kidding. I can get them straight, but I screw them up. Anyway, we do have some cool clearance stuff going on. On the left, you see that Headmasters are cleared out. They call them retro, but they're really tight returns. Just so you know, you're not really getting vintage. It's $14.90 clearance out, and that's pretty much all around. I think that's across the brand. Also, same thing with these Netflix are finally going on clearance right now. $13.41. I didn't have this guy, so I finally picked him up. But I do want to say real quick on the changing the name to Slug instead of Slag for this Dinobot. It's weird because, well, some parts of the world, slag is a negative term. It is not, it's a lewd term, according to the dictionary. But look up what those same people call cigarettes. Is that not lewd? I just think it's sad that we have to change the name of our beloved characters for what I feel are silly reasons. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Okay, so getting into some mainline news, and although we've seen these pictures before, we didn't know what we were looking at. Anyway, this is the War for Cybertron Golden Disc Collection, Chapter 1, Road Ranger and Puffer 2-pack. This is an Amazon exclusive, going to release March 1st of 2022, and it's about $43. Now, here's the thing about this. This is going to include 2 figures, 4 accessories, and instructions with a golden disc. I'm guessing it gets a golden disc in there and all that kind of stuff. But here's the thing about this. It features part of a golden disc graphic. Collect this pack along with 3 other golden disc collections to complete the graphic. And each sold separately, subject to availability and all that stuff. But Autobot Road Ranger and Autobot Puffer figures convert, they don't transform. They convert in 15 and 16 steps and include 4 weapon accessories. Now, they've described this as Autobot Road Ranger, the GoBot you were waiting for, and the Autobot Puffer figure. So this is interesting that they're trying to put in GoBots into this, and a lot of viewers guessed that. A lot of viewers already guessed that. They already knew what was going on with this, and I didn't realize they were doing that. But wouldn't it be nice if they explored GoBots further? That's just all I gotta say. So, Chapter 2 is a quantum surge causes a time vortex intercepting the Action Master Jackpot and his partner Sights, pulling them through time and space. Somehow the journey through the vortex gave Jackpot the ability to transform into a vehicle mode and altered Sights alt mode. This is the Golden Disc Collection number 2, and it is the Autobot Jackpot. And it's just a recolor of Jazz, and I think the different head and all that kind of stuff. But it's number 2. Interesting concept they got going on. Was a little confusing at first what they were doing with this. So, Chapter 3 of Golden Disc is Mutant Tigertron. So, there's Chapter 3, Mutant Tigertron. So, it's kind of interesting how they have it going on here. I'm not going to read all of the stuff that goes on with it, but it's progressing. And then number 4 is coming up, and number 4 is the one I want to talk about the most. Number 4 is Pterosaur, and this is one of the coolest Beast Wars figures out there. And so for that, I pre-ordered it right away. Now, as soon as I found out about this, I went to Pulse and was disappointed. Sold out of Pulse. And I don't know how many of these are sold. I don't think I've bought anything at Pulse in forever. I'm just kind of tired of Pulse myself. But when it comes to Amazon, it's much easier because it's on both of them, more or less. And Amazon's real easy to get these. So I'll try to get a link for you down below. But the thing about this is, I don't know if they're going to put it out in this form in the mainline. I think the mainline might get repaints, and the mold's going to be available 5 different ways. But will it be available this way other than Amazon? I don't know. And this is the thing. It's regular price on Amazon and easy to get in abundance now. Will it be easy to get 5-6 months down the road? Maybe not, if you're in for this character. So I really want to talk about this here and this War for Cybertron Covert Agent Ravage that's showing up in Canada already. And this isn't just the Ravage. This is there's a Galvatron recolor showing up, the G.I. Joe Classified, the Breaker and the Ram cycle, the barbecue, all that kind of stuff showing up already in Canada. And there's a very specific reason why. The PulseCon that we were waiting for this particular figure and for some other stuff, for the Zartan and all of that stuff too, is the PulseCon is for the US. Canada has to get these through another means. And so they're just showing up at Toys R Us and all those other places, Gamestop and places like that, versus us waiting for PulseCon. PulseCon is probably going to sell out on these higher demand items in seconds, if not minutes. It's going to be really hard to get. In Canada, they're lucky they can just walk in their store and grab them right now because they know about the buzz. So that's two different worlds. It's easy to sit here in the US and be jealous, but Canada sometimes gets the shaft when it comes to some of these other releases. So kudos to them. Good job up there, and good luck and happy hunting. Now, we saw this Megatron showing up, and I actually saw it myself too. I didn't snap a picture of it on the shelf, but they're showing up at retail right now. Now, this looks like a GameStop. I saw one at a Target. So it's interesting, and it's kind of exciting in a way. Just new product is actually starting to show up. But I think it's odd that the very similar version of this is being made in the Masterpiece scale by Unique Toys. At the same time, this is showing up. That's just, to me, it's interesting, but why are these same characters being made right now? That's interesting, and that's a big question. I'm just curious. Like, why now? Why them? Why from that movie at this point in time? Seems like Amazon is super Transformer heavy these days. He's listing for the Kingdom Tigertron is up, and we all knew this is coming. This is nothing new or no surprises anymore. We get to live in a world with no surprises. That's nice, but here it is with the box and the packaging and the figure and all that good stuff. And I'm just wondering when we'll be able to order it through Amazon or see it on our store shelves. I still like finding them in the wild a little bit more than pre-ordering them. So we got some new news on the Haslab Victory Saber project. The Tier 3 stretch goal is up. You get a shield and you get two little minifigures, the Holy and Fire. Here's the thing about this that it has funded. Now, I made a video when this first started, guaranteeing it will fund for multiple reasons. One of those reasons were all of the other people they bring in, all of the other companies, whatever. Well, Takara Tomy is working in on this, and Takara Tomy will place an order for them. So I don't know if it was 500 or 1,000 or 1,200. The guess is 1,200 was the order for this, because that's what people feel it jumped at one point in time and took it across the finish line to, well, not the finish line, but the starting line, I guess you could say, to fund this. But they haven't hit the first tier yet, which is 14,000, and they need 20,000 to get this shield. Now, a lot of people guessed it would be the shield, and they were right. And I didn't know they were going to put in two little minifigures. I don't think it's going to hit 20,000. We got a week to go. Next Saturday at midnight, it's over. And here it is, these little minifigures. I don't know if this is supposed to be a base. Maybe I missed that point. So you get a shield, you can turn them into a base. Anyhow, you get these two little minifigures with it. That's cool, I guess. That's a thing that they're putting in there. So I personally am not in on this. I don't have anything against this project. I do kind of feel like it should have been a Commander class and put it at Generation Select or just put it out. But I know a lot of people that are super excited for this, and the fact they put it all in one, like everything's in one box, makes it a pretty good deal. So before we get into some Star Wars news, I do want to talk about the little internet drama that's been going on YouTube lately, and it's between Retro Blasting and Toy Guru. And don't let anybody tell you any different. It's really about Haslab. It is Michael French at Retro Blasting disagrees with Haslab and the business model. We shouldn't be crowdfunding these billion-dollar corporations for projects that they could afford to put out themselves. And that's his stance. It's always been his stance. Toy Guru's made a couple of response videos directly to Retro Blasting, and then Retro Blasting made a video slamming Haslab about the Sentinel and the weak knee. And then Guru came back saying all this stuff. Back and forth between the two of them has been going on for a while now. So there was this debate set up, and it was on the bottom left there. That is the Geek Dad Life, and he set this up, and it was for charity and all that kind of stuff. And they debated. At the end of this debate, I want to tell you that nobody won. There were no clear winners. Maybe they won in getting more subs on both of their channels. Who knows? But if you want to hear more about this and me to chime in, I will. Why am I getting involved with this? Well, that's because a third of my viewers became subscribers from my Haslab videos. So it's obvious, you know, how I feel about Haslab. But I could chime in on this whole situation. Also, there's another angle to this whole situation. While they're having a debate between the Toy Guru at Spectre Creative and the Retro Blasting, we had that Junkman was doing what he called a YouTube roast live stream at the exact same time. I didn't know this was going on. I found it out later. it's good for a laugh. I thought Junkman and Retro Blasting were buds because they did some collaborations together in the past, but evidently they're not. Or maybe they are. This is just a big ploy. I don't know. But it was kind of funny. There was some jokes and stuff, and I can see where you can take Michael French. He's a very serious person. And so at the end of this, I had a few laughs. I don't think any less of Retro Blasting or any of these individuals. I like all these channels. I would like to watch them, have some fun, and at the end of the day, this is maybe just a big publicity stunt, or some people are going to get their feelings hurt, but I can still make a video talking about it. So getting into some Star Wars news, I really want to say that this week, vintage collection stuff is starting to show up everywhere. And when I say everywhere, I've not seen stores get 6 cases of figures at one time in a while, but we're seeing it with vintage collection, and it's nice. It is really nice. I enjoy that. I love seeing that. And so I was able to get all the figures I needed this weekend running around, so it's pretty nice. Dallas was a great place for picking these up. Now I want to point out some of these figures that I was able to grab. I actually found some stuff on clearance that's still relatively new, and so that was kind of nice to get figures on clearance. And I kind of tossed in figures I already had before this whole road trip that I went on, because I'm not 100% sure I showed them all before, but this is kind of stuff that's out there right now. If you're interested in this, you can go out and hunt for this right now and find it, and maybe find it on clearance. Now, I do like to check out Yakface. I think Yakface and Bantha Skull, and then Jedi Temple Archives, they really stay on top of news and what's going on. Even when Star Wars seemed to have no pulse and nothing's going on, they still try to come up with some stuff. But right now there's a rumor report going on all of these figures that are being rumored. And this is something about this. I want to say that all of these names in their Periwinkle, Tusken, all this stuff, whoever they really are, they've got a lot of figures in the work for the vintage collection, and vintage collection is not going away, and that 3.75 inch scale is still going strong. I'm excited for that. That's my favorite scale, so that's why I like to talk about it. So it turns out Haslab Razor Crest is shipping, yes, shipping to the US. That's what the rumor is. Now, I really don't understand how you could ascertain that information from what we see right here, but whatever. Okay, whenever I get mine, I get mine. I'm not in any hurry. I'm not in any rush or anything like that. I know my 3 are coming, so one day I'll get them, and then I'll blow them up, so that's how it goes. But it is kind of exciting. It's almost one of those things like, oh, I forgot I ordered that. Oh, look forward to having it, I guess. Okay, so we've got some Black Series news here in the Star Wars realm. There's the RC1138 1138. You remember George Lucas's 1138 movie that he made, and then 1138 was used a lot of times for the cell that Leia was in, and all these other numbers, 1138 over and over. Gaming grades boss. So I don't know exactly where it falls into the gaming world, but it's a Republic Commando. Pretty cool. Speaking of George Lucas and THX and all of that good stuff, he's getting his Stormtrooper. I think we got this in a vintage collection already. I don't have it. I really wasn't interested in. So I have the same level of interest in this figure, but it's still kind of cool to immortalize yourself in action figure form. Scott Knightlick did it. The Toy Guru did it. And George Lucas is getting it done to him again. So if you're interested in this, you might want to pick it up. So we've got some more, and they say it's the rumor report, but I got to tell you, it's a rumor report. It's also what Hasbro likes to call the pipeline reveals kind of stuff, and they're going to pipeline reveal this soon, I'm pretty sure. So here we are with the client, Death Watch Mandalorian, Ahsoka Tano from the Mandalorian, Echo, and Omega from the Bad Batch. So here's the thing about all of this. This all makes sense. Like, this is kind of like, duh, we're going to get these guys. But we don't have 100% confirmation yet, so it still has to be classified as rumor. I like the little montage that yakface.com put together. So let me know what you think about this week's weekly news in review. I think it was a pretty fun week. There's a lot of stuff going on. What else is going on out there that I missed? What really cool items are popping up that I don't know about? Hey, let me know. I like to stay in the know. I try to help you stay in the know. Like and subscribe. Hanger out.